TikTok drama really never ends, but this time it spiraled into something much deeper than just a petty disagreement. It became a viral story of betrayal, justice, and a hardworking mother trying to protect the little bit of peace she had. This situation involved food, a lie, a viral confrontation, and a woman who was already fighting for her survival before her name got dragged into a public mess. It started off like any other Uber Eats delivery. Michelle, a delivery driver, just trying to make it through her day, dropped off food, marked it delivered, and continued to her next stop. But hours later, everything flipped. The customer, a receptionist at a medical office, filed a report saying she never received her food. It wasn't true, but that lie set off a chain of events that could have destroyed Michelle's income, her trust in others, and her mental health. When the truth came out, the internet did what it does best. It amplified it. People picked sides. Viewers got mad. And eventually, the workplace that employed the lying customer had to step in. By the end of it all, someone was out of a job and someone else walked away stronger. Let's get into it. Michelle, known on TikTok at Blessed to Be Me, posted a video that would soon take the internet by storm. In this video, she captured what many described as a moment of raw honesty and justified rage. She wasn't just venting, she was standing up for her livelihood in real time, and every second of it was being recorded on her phone. She entered the office building with a sense of purpose, her voice already filled with emotion. You could tell this wasn't about causing a scene. It was about defending the truth. She had just found out that someone she had delivered food to had reported it as not delivered. That someone was a woman named Lastasia. Without hesitation, Michelle called out, "Lastasia!" Her voice echoed loudly across the office, catching everyone's attention. The name wasn't just a call, it was demand for accountability. All eyes turned toward the front desk. Lastasia, seated at her workstation at Hillside Medical Group, immediately reacted. Her posture stiffened, and her fingers hovered awkwardly over her keyboard. Michelle had dropped the food off to her in person earlier that day, and now she was back, confronting her face to face and doing it while recording everything. Michelle did not come in yelling or cursing. She came in with clarity. She had facts, she had reason, and she had video proof. As Michelle spoke, the tension in the room grew. You could almost feel the air thicken as Lastasia remained silent. She did not deny the claim. She did not say it was a mistake. She did not defend herself at all. She just sat at her desk trying to look busy, avoiding eye contact like nothing was happening.
So I'm doing Uber Eats and Lastasia decided to say she didn't get her. So what? You already called out and you're basically saying you did it. You're not saying it's false. So the right thing to do would be to apologize, right? Right, okay. You shouldn't try that again, especially when you don't know if you the first trip or not. Or just don't do it. You was right down the street. Went had McDonald's. Wasn't it 2 spicy McChickens and a big red, large? Yeah. I remember the order. And can you make sure it's fresh, please? Got the audacity to ask for accommodations and then lie.
It was clear to everyone watching online later, and probably everyone sitting in that office at the time, that Lastasia had been caught. But what was even more upsetting was her lack of response. No emotion, no explanation, no apology, just quiet indifference, as if she hadn't just tried to harm another person's ability to earn a living. Michelle walked up to the desk, steady but clearly filled with disbelief, and pointed directly at McDonald's cup sitting in plain view on the reception's desk. It wasn't just any drink, it was unmistakable, the exact big red drink from the same order she had dropped off earlier that day. The same drink that should not be there if Lastasia had truly not received her meal. With a calm but firm voice, Michelle spoke up, loud enough for anyone nearby to hear. 2 spicy McChickens and a big red. That is what you ordered. That is what I delivered. And this drink? It's right there in front of you. Her tone did not waver because she knew the truth was sitting right there in full view. There was no room for misunderstanding, no excuse to be made. The evidence was undeniable, bold and dripping condensation. But Lastasia, she did not flinch, she did not panic, she did not look up. She kept eyes glued to her computer screen, her fingers awkwardly pretending to type. It was as if Michelle wasn't even there, as if she had not just walked in and lied the truth down in front of her. Even with the other details laid out clearly, even with Michelle reminding her of the exact items and pointing to the proof, there was no response. No sorry, no shame, no explanation. It was silence. Her body language screamed avoidance. Her face was blank. She did not argue, did not acknowledge, did not own up. She simply froze behind the desk, acting like none of it mattered. Like getting someone fired for a $12 meal was something she could brush off. To everyone watching online, and likely everyone sitting in that waiting area, it was a moment that showed everything: the guilt, the lack of remorse, and the kind of entitlement that made someone think this was okay in the first place. That is when Michelle opened up, and this wasn't just about a $12, it was about the weight of her entire life resting on every single delivery she made. Michelle revealed that she only makes around $2 per trip on Uber Eats. For many, that may seem like pocket change, but for her, it's how she keeps the lights on. She's a single mother, raising two daughters on her own. She has no financial cushion, no backup plan, and no partner helping her manage the storm. Every trip is a small step towards survival. Every dollar she earns is carefully stretched to cover bills, groceries, transportation, and school expenses for her children. On top of that, Michelle is in recovery from alcohol addiction. She has worked hard day by day, hour by hour to stay sober and rebuild her life from the ground up. She's taken accountability, gone to rehab, and put in the work to become a stable present mom. She's proud of how far she's come, but the reality is recovery isn't easy. One stressful moment, one deep hit to her confidence or stability could send her spiraling. I could have relapsed because of this, she said, her voice shaking. She wasn't just saying it for attention, she meant it. The tension in her voice was heavy. The stress was written across her face. This wasn't just frustration. I could have relapsed because of this, she said, her voice shaking. She wasn't just saying it for attention, she meant it. The tension in her voice was heavy, the stress was written across her face. This wasn't just frustration, this was fear. Fear of losing everything she had worked so hard to gain back. Michelle explained that staying sober takes strength, it takes stability, and when someone lies about a delivery and threatens her only source of income, that balance can fall apart quickly. That single dishonest report did not just risk her Uber Eats account, it risked her mental health, her children's meals, and her grip on sobriety. She wasn't crying for pity, she was standing in her truth, and that truth hit harder than any accusation. What shocked viewers most wasn't just the lie, it was the cold silence. Even after hearing Michelle's pain, Lastasia stayed silent. She did not say sorry, she did not look up, she did not even offer sympathy. Michelle wasn't asking for a full confession, just some humanity, a simple acknowledgement, a basic level of decency from someone who knew exactly what they did. But she did not get it, not even a little. No eye contact, no softening expression, just a cold wall of silence. At that point, Michelle knew there was nothing more to say to Lastasia. So instead of escalating the situation, she quietly moved away from the desk and sat in the waiting area. Her voice may have been calm, but her heart was pounding. She said clearly that she wanted to speak to a manager, not to get revenge, but to make sure the truth was heard by someone who could actually do something about it. She wasn't there to create drama or go viral. She wasn't trying to make a scene. She was there because someone tried to mess with her job and her life, and she refused to stay quiet about it. Michelle was standing up for her livelihood, her reputation, and every delivery driver who's ever been disrespected or lied on. She wasn't just calling out a lie, she was demanding respect in a place where so many often get ignored. The internet exploded with outrage. The video spread like wildfire, circulating across TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, and even Facebook within just a few hours. It wasn't just trending, it was dominating timelines. Influencers with massive followings began to speak out. Creators posted reaction videos, and users started tagging tagging news outlets. People weren't just watching, they were engaging, analyzing, and sharing their own similar stories. Thousands of comments poured in underneath the original post, and there weren't just a few kind words. They were walls of solidarity, fire emojis, angry rants, and stories from other gig workers who had been scammed or falsely accused by customers. "She tried to ruin your job over $12," one user wrote, shocked. "This is evil, straight up evil," another added. "This is why tip baiting and false reports should be criminal. You're playing with people's lives," someone else chimed in. Many people expressed how deeply the video touched them, not just because of the lie, but because of how composed, honest, and brave Michelle had been. Her story was no longer just about a missing meal. It had become a symbol of working class struggle, respect, and the broken systems that too often protect the wrong people. "This is evil, straight up evil," another added. Some viewers said they had never felt so instantly upset watching a TikTok. Many of them were delivery workers themselves or came from low-income jobs and understood just how devastating a single false report could be. They talked about similar experiences where customers tried to scam the system, costing them time, money, and sometimes even their accounts. Others were just shocked by the boldness and cruelty of it all. "How do you have the nerve to be like that while sipping the drink she brought you?" one viewer commented. People aren't just mad at the act, they were disturbed by the emotionless way Lastasia had handled it. Her silence, her lack of apology, her casual attitude in the face of someone else's struggle. It touched a deep nerve in people who knew what it felt like to be unseen, unprotected, or mistreated just for trying to make ends meet. Some creators even made videos praising Michelle for standing up for herself. They called her brave, resilient, and inspiring. Others used the video to bring awareness to how underpaid and underprotected gig workers are. The video had become more than just a confrontation. It was now a symbol of the everyday fight for dignity, honesty, and basic respect in a world where those things are often denied to people doing the hardest job. As the story gained more attention and continued to spread online, Michelle felt the moment was right to share even more about her personal journey. She wasn't just someone caught in a viral video. She was a mother with a story of resilience and a past she was still climbing out of. She opened up about starting a GoFundMe campaign back in June, long before this incident happened. The reason? To support her two daughters while trying to rebuild her life after completing rehab.
Help a single parent find hope and stability for their family. Hi, I'm a single parent seeking support for my two daughters. I'm struggling to support my kids after rehab and job loss. Your support can help us find stability and hope today. Help us rise together. Please donate.
After coming out of rehab, Michelle had been hopeful, but the reality of starting over was harder than she expected. She lost multiple jobs during her recovery process, either due to stigma or to consistency that comes with healing. Getting back on her feet meant taking whatever work she could find, and for her, Uber Eats became a lifetime. It wasn't glamorous and it did not pay much, but it allowed her to stay afloat and keep showing up for her kids. She made it clear that she did not post the confrontation video to go viral or get sympathy. That was never her goal. What she truly wanted was justice, not just for herself, but for every person who has ever been mistreated, lied on, or unfairly blamed while trying to survive. Her openness resonated with people deeply. As many viewers learned her full story, donations began pouring in into her GoFundMe. The comment section turned into a wall of support. Total strangers reached out with kind words, prayers, encouragement, and small gestures that meant the world to her. People saw her not just as a delivery driver, but as a mother, a fighter, and someone worth rooting for. Her honesty opened hearts, and in return, the internet gave back in a rare and beautiful way. Michelle returned with an update not long after, posting another heartfelt video to explain what happened next. She revealed that she hadn't stayed long enough during the original visit to speak directly with management, not because she did not want to, but because she did not afford to lose more time away from work. Every delivery counted toward her next dollar, but she did manage to catch a moment with a doctor from Hillside Medical Group before leaving. And the update, it was huge. Lastasia had been fired. The doctor who spoke to Michelle calmly and respectfully apologized for everything she had gone through. He explained that the company had conducted an internal review and fully understood the severity of the situation. After watching the video and reviewing the details, they concluded that Lastasia's behavior did not align with their professional standards of the company's values, integrity, and honesty. As a result, they had made the decision to terminate her employment. Michelle said the doctor was kind and genuinely sympathetic. As a gesture of goodwill, Hillside Medical Group offered her $50, not because the money could fix what happened, but as a small token to show that they acknowledged her distress and appreciated her standing up for herself. The doctor also politely asked Michelle to help ease the situation by updating her followers and letting them know that the company had taken appropriate action. He explained that their office had been flooded with calls and messages from angry viewers, and that while they appreciated people standing up for justice, the matter had been resolved internally and it was time to move forward. Michelle appreciated the clarity and sincerity, and while it did not erase what happened, it felt like a rare moment where justice was actually served.
Here's an update from the situation with Lastasia yesterday. I do not have video footage. I did not wait for the doctor to come out. I spoke with the doctor this afternoon. He did inform me that Lastasia was terminated. He also issued me an apology, which I am grateful for, being that I didn't get one from Lastasia. And we also discussed the video, and we both agreed that I would ask that y'all, to see if y'all would stop calling and reviewing the practice, being that the practice is not at fault for what Lastasia did. Unfortunately, she did get terminated, and that was her consequence, but the practice shouldn't have to suffer for what she has done. Thank you for all the encouraging words and the supports throughout the comments and in my private messaging. I really do appreciate the support and the encouragement, and just the love that I am seeing from people I don't even know, people that don't know me. It's uplifting to see that people really still care about other people, no matter who they are or where they are. And I say thank you. I mean, I wasn't expecting all this to happen from this video. I only had 200 and something Diamond Art followers, and I was content with them, and the incident just really, it didn't rub me the right way, and I shared it. I did, so I don't regret sharing it, but I thank you for the encouraging words and the blessings, and just thank you so much. May God bless you all.
Shortly after that, Hillside Medical Group released an official public statement under Michelle's viral TikTok video. The statement wasn't vague or hidden. It was bold, direct, and clearly intended to send a message to both Michelle and the thousands of people watching the situation unfold. They wrote, "After a thorough internal review, we made the decision to immediately terminate this individual's employment. Their actions are unacceptable and do not reflect the values we uphold." Hillside did not try to protect their former employee or sweep the situation under the rug. They openly acknowledged that the incident, while occurring outside the direct scope of official work duties, still mattered deeply. They explained that when someone shows dishonesty and a willingness to sabotage another person for personal gain, that kind of behavior reflects on character, and character is something they take seriously. They made it clear that their workplace values, compassion, honesty, and respect were not just buzzwords. These were real expectations for every person on their team. And when those values were violated in such a public and harmful way, action had to be taken. There was no room, they said, for someone who tried to hurt another human being, especially someone trying to survive. By issuing that statement, Hillside Medical Group not only defended Michelle, but also reinforced what accountability should look like when a company is confronted with injustice. The response did not stop at a comment. It escalated to a full video statement. Hillside Medical Group understood the seriousness of the situation and knew that a typed comment wouldn't be enough to restore trust with the public, so they took the next step, a face-to-face explanation. Hillside's Chief Operating Officer, Don Mary Barry, sat down on camera alongside their Director of Compliance to directly address what happened. The two appeared calm, collected, but also visibly serious. They wanted the public to know that this was not a small matter to them. They walked through the timeline clearly and methodically. Michelle had, in fact, delivered the food as reported. They took the situation seriously and opened a full investigation internally. All evidence, including Michelle's video and delivery logs, confirmed that the report from Lastasia was fake. Based on their findings, they made the decision to terminate Lastasia's employment. But they did not stop there. Don Maribari explained that this wasn't just about a fast food order, it was about what that false claim represented. It was about how easily someone's job, dignity, and mental health could be put at risk by a single dishonest report. They emphasized that their decision was rooted in their organizational values, conduct, honesty, accountability, and protecting the integrity of both their staff and the community they serve. They expressed disappointment that an employee had acted so recklessly and wanted to make sure the public knew they do not tolerate behavior that undermines trust. Before closing the video, both leaders looked directly into the camera and extended a sincere apology to Michelle. They thanked her for bringing the issue to light, and they praised her for handling the situation with strength and grace, even in the face of public humiliation and injustice. It was a rare moment where a company did more than damage control. They took a stand and for what was right. Not everyone agreed. A few people on social media questioned the decision to fire Lastasia. Wasn't that too harsh? Should someone lose their job over this? But let's be real, when someone lies that easily, what else might they lie about? Could you trust that person with sensitive data, with patient care? This wasn't just a mistake, it was an intentional act, a small lie with big consequences. Michelle did not just speak up for herself, she spoke for every person who's ever been overlooked, mistreated, or dismissed while trying to survive. She became the voice for every delivery driver working in the rain, every single parent counting every dollar, and every recovering addict trying to stay on the right path despite life's obstacles. Her story was more than a viral moment. It became a symbol of everyday resilience. She almost lost her job because of someone else's lie. She almost lost the emotional progress she had fought so hard to gain. But instead of crumbling under pressure or walking away defeated, she made a choice to speak up, and that choice changed everything. It worked, not just for her, but for the thousands of viewers who saw themselves in her. People rallied behind her. They donated, they commented, they shared her story. They reminded her that she mattered, that her work mattered, and that her honesty still had a place in the world. Was Hillside Medical Group right to fire her? Was justice served, or was it too harsh? What do you think? Was this a clear case of accountability or a moment where the internet pushed too far? Let us know in the comments below. Your voice matters. And if this story moved you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more real stories that shed light on truth, justice, and the people fighting to be seen.